Oh, did you guys hear? Like, could you hear that? I guess that's part of Zoom policy now. They want to make sure everyone knows you're being recorded. That's hilarious. Okay. First thing I wanted to mention, because I have to do it myself, is to make sure to follow up with like anyone so far that's expressed interest, not just for the hybrid, but really for anyone, to be honest, just because right now, even the Beachbody On Demand packs are another $20 off. So anyone who doesn't have Beachbody On Demand that has expressed interest, like this is a good weekend. I know holiday weekends are hard because you're like, people could be really busy. But those people who aren't busy, that don't have plans, it's the perfect time to follow up with them because they could actually take action on it. And then the other people, like the end of the month isn't till Monday's the last day. So it's still possible, even if they're gone the whole weekend, if they could check their messages on Monday. Because anyways, I feel like I didn't really emphasize this with our team just because I was so focused on the hybrid. But yeah, even the Beachbody On Demand packs, which are usually $160, are only $140 this week or this month. So I'm going to be following up, I'm hoping tonight, because I really don't want to wait till tomorrow, with everyone, a whole bunch of people, just to make sure that they know that the Beachbody On Demand prices are going to go up, of all the package prices as of Tuesday. So I just wanted to mention that, to make sure you guys are aware of that. I was going to check too before I hopped on, but I didn't, to see how many people had actually filled out the Google form, to officially, I think there's going to be a lot more than this, but I'm just curious more than anything. I haven't done any follow-ups or anything, and I already have 14 people. So that's pretty good for people. It was a long email, and the Google form was only this big of it. So that was honestly part of my test. Like, if these people are willing to read through it, fill out a Google form, then they have to be relatively serious versus just like commenting, I'm in on something, right? So that's like half of the people, because I think I had over 30, probably almost 40 people request information on it. So we still have another like 2 weeks. So I'm guessing that we'll have, I'd say at least 30. My goal would be like 30 to 40, maybe even 50 people in this group. I think that would be a really good size group for a Facebook group. And I didn't know if I mentioned that's how I still plan on running it, in a Facebook group. And I just feel like you kind of want like 30 plus people in there in order to make sure engagement is high. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's
people signed up so far. And yeah, they like the Facebook a lot better.
Yeah, good. I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, another thing too, like I was talking to Melissa about it, and she said that she's been talking to her people, and some people are more like turned off or scared by the running. And I know Katie, you had a couple of your people like that too. And I think for sure in my next lead generator, I'm probably not even going to mention the running. I'm just going to talk about it being hybrid and talking about how I'll share more about it. But that's my plan for, I'm thinking Monday night, not Sunday, because I feel like Memorial Day on Sunday night, people are kind of all over the place. So probably Monday night, but I plan on focusing on like how challenging your body can really help you like level up in other areas of your life, right? Like make you feel empowered and make you feel like capable and make you feel more productive, like, right? So like talking about that trickle effect of how like challenging yourself physically can benefit other areas of your life. And I do think that's important sometimes in like these kind of themed groups to take a different aspect, because someone who might be afraid of running or doesn't think they are a runner might then request information. And once they've requested information, then you can kind of talk them through them being like, oh, I'm not a runner. Like, and then you can talk to them about how like you really can, walk it, jog it, or run it. Or, you could, it's only 2 or 3 days a week that they're short runs. So you really could just do the other workouts if you really don't want to do it, right? So like, I just feel like sometimes doing a lead generator that isn't focused on running is even good for these hybrid boot camps, because you might get people who are otherwise scared off, and then you can start having those conversations. So I wanted to mention that too. And just on your conversations with anyone who you're talking to, just mentioning that it's not like, like every single day you're running like 2 or 3 or 4 plus miles. That's not how I lay out the calendar. So
No.
my body won't be able to handle that right now either.
Well, I think people think too, a 30-day breakaway, if they don't know anything about it, they think it's like just running all the time, like you run for not hours, but a long time. I'm like, no, it's like 20 minutes. I'm like, anybody can do it.
Right. Yeah. And again, just being able to sometimes tell people that, like, because last year I know I had people in there that had never run before. And by the end, like, they could do a 5K, they could jog it. And that was like part of the fun of like challenging yourself and realizing that you can do something that you didn't think you could before.
I'm like a runner who doesn't make time to run. Hi guys. Because I ran track in high school and like did sports and stuff. So I ran all the time and I was super in shape, but now I never run because I don't make time for it. But lately I've been doing ultimate frisbee. And at least recently I got into like a really intense ultimate frisbee where they don't even play it where you like switch sides. No, you just play like back and forth ultimate frisbee for like a set amount of time. It's literally just like sprinting up and down a field, but at least there's like a purpose to it, which I like. So that's fun.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So then I was going to talk through the timing of the group too, because I started like writing it out to make sure I don't forget. Because I feel like boot camps like this, there's lots of pieces. So I plan on creating the Facebook group so we can start plugging people in on Thursday, June 3rd. So next week, Thursday. I didn't want it to be too early that it was just sitting there empty forever, but I wanted it to be early enough that we weren't like frantically trying to do it like the day before, right? So June 3rd, I'll open the Facebook group. And then I plan on, just so you guys understand and know, I do actually create these custom workout calendars a week at a time. I don't do like all 4 weeks. Yeah, because I like to listen to my own body as I'm doing it and listen to people's feedback. Like, is it too challenging? Is it not challenging enough? And so I literally adjust what I assign based on like the feel for the group and what they're hungry for, and what programs are like, oh my gosh, I love that one. So I was like, okay, I'll do a couple more like that. So I commit to always sharing a week at a time, on Sunday at the latest for the following week. So everyone can see at least a week at a time what is coming. However, so in the past, I've done this at a Facebook Messenger. Now that we're doing on Facebook group, I've been kind of like brainstorming, like what would daily posts look like? Do we need daily posts? Do we do a weekly post? And I would love your guys' feedback, but I'm just going to share what I've been brainstorming and thinking. And I'm always, this is why I want you guys here to let me know your honest opinions and ideas. But my thought is, so every Sunday I would give them the whole week of workouts so they know what's coming and they can, switch around the runs if weather's nice or whatever, right? But then I was also thinking then every day there would be a pinned post that would just say, again, like what workouts are assigned and maybe like a tip, like if you want to, if you're more of a beginner, maybe do this, or if you're more advanced, maybe do this, right? Just give them a couple tips in there. So say the workout, a couple tips to modify, and then like the picture would just be, it's funny because I'm in Sarah Berg's group, and something that I love that she does is like she keeps her like check-in posts like so simple. And I think sometimes that's like refreshing for people not to have, because test groups, I love that they give them a lot of information, but sometimes I don't think people even read it after a while. And it's just like overwhelming all the time. So I'm thinking for like this boot camp, I'm thinking that we just have the assigned workout, couple tips, maybe what equipment they need, like just whatever comes to your head. And then just have the picture be something either funny or motivational, something like, and just leave it at that. And then have that, because that'd be easy for us to put together. And yeah, we can schedule it ahead of time. I didn't know if you knew that in Facebook groups, you can schedule things ahead of time and then just have it pinned to the top. Because I do think, because I thought about just doing like a weekly post. And I feel like in Facebook groups, the most important thing is to like always have people getting notifications, like not too many, but at least one a day so that they're reminded and prompted to engage, right? And I think if there's just one weekly post, they're not necessarily going to get notified every day. And if there's a daily post, they will. thoughts, ideas on any of that? I'd love to hear it.
What I really liked about Bar Blend, because that's like the one program I've done that I really stuck with, is I liked how it had like the daily like mantra or like word of encouragement. And I think especially with running, it's a thing that you really have to like push through and like work to having endurance. So maybe having some like kind of like, and I'm a huge like pun analogy person. So maybe just like every once in a while having like a weekly like running the race or like enduring or persevering or pushing. And like I've been reading a lot of like Brene Brown's like Gifts of Imperfection, but there's like a lot of good stuff in there. So if we could like pull like an inspirational like quote or something, I really have to be really, because it's also like about kind of like, I'm a teacher, so I think about like educating the whole student, so educating the whole person, like kind of like that heart and soul is so much attached to like our physical bodies and us feeling capable. And I think a lot of us have to fight that kind of internal battle of like, can I do this? And it's like, yeah, you can. And kind of like having that empowerment, I think is what really helped me stick with Bar Blend and like how I finished the program.
Yeah. I love, so that's what I was thinking. At least like every day they'd be getting some kind of nugget that would inspire them or motivate them, or even just make them laugh and make them like, realize it's a new day, a new reason to go after it. What do you think, Abby and Katie, thoughts based on like other groups that you were in? Does that sound, I think it's different enough. I've never done a group like
simple. Keep it simple, because people, you get too much in there, I think sometimes, and I myself don't even read it all. So I'm like, why would I just read it?
Right.
Yeah, I like the short and simple too, because I follow Sarah Berg, and it's just like so straight to the point, just a quick check-in. And I know like in my personal bod groups, like I have ladies who don't check in every single day, like they check in whenever it's available for them. So I think like, if you did one for the whole week, sometimes they might miss it or not check in. Or if you had one daily, it's like, okay, if they were available that day or, saw a quick, notification, then they would be able to check in that day,
Right.
And that would be better.
Yeah. And I was also hoping that would kind of get them in the mindset of like, if you miss a day, who cares? Like jump onto the next day that we're on. Cause like, that's the magic of this this hybrid program is like everyone doing the same workout and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I missed a day and now I have to like make it up. Cause I think with test groups, sometimes that's the problem, that people get in that mindset and it's like, no, done. New workout, new notification. Let's keep going. So it like gives them that fresh slate every day.
It's really good timing because of like summer. Like I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. I'll be back in Iowa at some point, like end of June, early July. I'm going out to Colorado to visit my best friend. But like to run, I can do it anywhere. Like I don't have to bring anything with me to run. So it's like perfect timing for me because it's something flexible I can do. And I'm going to want to do after like being on planes and cramped in cars, like getting to like run and get some exercise. So it's like good timing with the summer too.
Yeah. Okay. And then another thing I was going to ask was, what are your thoughts on like nutrition? Is that something that I should even touch on? And a related question is, I plan on doing some live videos because in Facebook groups, I just feel like I'm more apt to go live. And I'm going to try only I'm going to do probably like a couple a week. I don't want to do it every day because like in the Sweat Well Spent original one, like Jake would go live every single day. And I feel like that sometimes can become white noise too. Like if you do it every day, people don't have time for that. So I was thinking a couple times a week, I would go live. And that comes into question. Like I can talk about anything all the time. So I don't have like an issue finding things to talk about live. But I'm curious. I struggle with touching nutrition and not really doing it justice. So they're not touching it at all.
I'm terrible at nutrition.
What, Abby?
I said I'm terrible with that. I think people want it, but yet they don't want it.
Okay, so a little tough love.
It's the sticking to it. I need more guidance on like how to choose a program that's going to work for you and then actually stay doing it. Because I'll be like, I'll have like an idealistic, oh yeah, I'm going to try this out. And I do it for like 2 days and I'm like, nah. I mean, today literally my dinner is IHOP at 9:49. So that is my eating habits currently. I ate today. But I aspire to eat healthier, but it's like, for me, it's like, there's a lot of choice involved, and like, I get decision overwhelmed with too many choices. So maybe like having some kind of guided conversations with people about kind of your like well, I'm such a teacher, like modeling how you use the nutrition programs and like what works for you.
Yeah, because I definitely struggle with decision fatigue, like all the time. I think it's just our personality. I think everyone does, but I think certain personalities overanalyze more things, so you get more decision fatigue because everything is like overanalyzed, even though it's simple to some people. Anyways, I won't get into it, but I totally understand that. And honestly, that is one of the reasons funny. That was one of the reasons why I love our nutrition programs, because once you figure out what works for you, and once you figure out your normal, it takes all decisions out of it. Like, I don't have to think anymore about what I eat for breakfast, lunch, snacks, or dinner. I know, like, I'm gonna have a veggie and a fruit and protein, and I'm gonna have a carb and a protein, and I'm gonna, like, I know, because I've been doing it for 4 years. There's no decisions anymore, and that's what I love about it. But at first, it was so overwhelming and figuring everything out. So yeah, I can definitely see. Then if I plan on going live like twice a week, I can plan on like one of them being more like motivational and like fitness related, and then one being more about nutrition. And I'll try not to get, I'll kind of think about that, how to be encouraging, but yet like honest and more about like real, like how I do it, what I do. Because yeah, I think it'd be valuable. I think people need it, but yeah, you're right. They don't always want to hear it. They just want to run and think that it'll fix everything. And it's like,
and you like, I think you did a live one time about like anxiety and like overcoming anxiety. And like, I think those like vulnerable, like real lives are like harder to do. But I think those are what really get people, like when you're really real. And I know that's like how we became friends in the first place, like years ago. Like that was like 2 or 3 years ago now. It's like, because you were just really real. And I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I used to do more live videos on my personal page, and I really don't anymore. And then I used to do it in Facebook groups a lot when I ran my groups out of Facebook. And then my challenge tracker app never had a live feature, so I didn't. And then I feel like I tried the bod group a couple of times, and it like would glitch, and then some of them didn't even work. I was annoyed with it. So
I joined TikTok lives a lot, and I really like TikTok lives. So if y'all could get on TikTok and then get a live following, like I love TikTok lives. It's like perfect when you like want to be with people, but you don't want to be with people, and you can like engage with someone on a live. And if there's only like 10 people there, like you're literally just having a conversation with the people on the live. It's great. Like I talked to someone about like IEP strategies yesterday. That was like a special education coordinator. Like,
okay, this is why we need you, Kendra, because you are clearly a different generation, and I don't even have TikTok. And the thought of like sitting on a live with 10 people sounds like excruciating and uncomfortable. Yeah.
I don't have the live feature because I only have about, what do I have? Like 400 followers. I don't know how many you need to have a live, but I have a handful. I had to put my social media back on not private because I had it private, but I have a teaching job now. So now I can put it back to public.
When you interviewed, you had to hide.
My kindergartners found out I had TikTok today though, and they're like, oh, Miss Burmester has TikTok. They saw the app on my phone and they whispered to all their friends, Miss Burmester has TikTok. Miss Burmester has TikTok. They're like, where's your TikTok at? I was like, I don't know. What TikTok?
I don't even think Avery would know what TikTok. She wouldn't know what TikTok is.
Yeah,
they
these
learned
kids,
a lot
their
in that
parents will
year.
just like hand them their phone though, and they like there's like certain dances that they like, so they like know about it. They don't know about Among Us though. That's like too old for them. Like we have one kid that did, and we're like, don't play that game at school, or like that's no bueno right there.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's really fun. It's like Mafia. Like if you ever played the Mafia, it's like a youth group kid, but like it's like these little cute little squishy dudes like go around like killing people, but they're called imposters, and then you have to like pretend that you're not the one.
Oh, you're gonna keep me on.
Like, I'm technically the tail end of the millennials though, because I was born in '96, so I'm like the last year of the millennials. So I always argue with my friends I'm a millennial because I grew up outside like playing with my neighbors and stuff, not on the internet. But now I like the internet.
All right. Our calls are always going to go too long if we're both on. That's just how it's going to work. All right. So I agree with the nutrition. We'll plan on that. Another question I had. So Katie, do you know, are you going to be around for 4th of July weekend in Iowa, or don't you know yet?
I don't know. I don't know quite yet. We haven't really talked about plans.
Okay. Well, just keep me in the loop. It's totally fine if you don't, because I'm thinking I haven't looked at my roster yet, but I would feeling I would at least have a handful of people in like the Orange
I'll
City
be in Iowa
Alton
for 4th
area.
of July.
Yeah, so I think we'd maybe have a handful of people, and just throwing it out there as an option. Again, don't feel like you can't go anywhere. If you're going somewhere, that's fine.
Mhm.
But I just thought at least then, like, we can throw it out there maybe as just like polls or see if anyone wants to. Because I am thinking, at least in Minnesota, I think a lot of people have cabins, but at least again, just throw it out there to be like, hey, if anyone wants to run the 5K together live.
Mhm.
Abby, are you physically by any of your people or not really?
Yes, some of them.
Just that'd be kind of fun, even if it was just a couple of you together.
Where do you live in Iowa, Abby?
I live in Sibley.
Oh, I know where that is. I went to college at Northwestern. I graduated in 2019 from Cedar Rapids, though.
Yes, I graduated from Northwestern a long time ago, so we don't talk about that.
I don't like throwing out yours either. Not around her. Okay. Another question. Oh, not a question, but a fact. I was just going to say, I wrote it down on my list too, that like, I want one of my last lead generators for this to be like a lead generator focused on. So I said my next one next week is going to be like, not even talk about running. And then the week after that, I'm going to focus on the 5K 4th of July, really on the training, but I just think again, when you're doing lead generators, focus on different parts of it, you kind of pique different people's interests. So I'm going to make sure that if you are going to order a tank top, to do it soon, because I'm going to do that, because then I can take a picture in it and use it for that lead generator.
So lead generator is the thing that hooks the people into doing the thing, right?
Yeah, it's where you kind of try to get some people interested. Yeah, you're sharing about it and inviting them to join you in it effectively. We try to do those twice a week. So ideally you're posting something every single day, and then 2 out of those 7 are lead generators where you're telling them about an opportunity, whether it be coaching or a challenge group, and then inviting them to join you, and then like comment or fill out a form or message me, like doing something very direct, not just like, let me know, because no one does that. So like, they won't do it. You have to tell them exactly what they need to do to join you, whether it's filling out a form or messaging you or whatever.
She goes
that's
in and
fun.
out all the time.
Katie, are you the Katie that was in my group, like for a group thing? I loved that group. I put my sticker on my water bottle.
That was awesome.
We lost you, Caitlin. Are you back?
Yeah, I noticed as I was rambling, you're all totally frozen. I'm like, no, they're gone.
No, try doing that while you're teaching, and then your students are like, "What's going on?"
That would be terrible.
Then my life's all weird.
And then people all trying to talk. Oh, that'd be terrible. Okay,
With kindergartners.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to manage kindergartners and computers and Zoom. That doesn't even sound feasible. All right. Does anyone I have one other thing. God, what was it? No, I forgot. Oh, okay. No, before I go into that, I was curious if anyone has thoughts, questions, feedback, other ideas to boost engagement, or really anything you've been thinking about.
I was gonna say though that like in Orange City, I believe because it's a 5K, like about three-ish miles. That if we did it at the golf course in Orange City, like I think that one's 3 miles. Like that.
Or the puddle jumper too is pretty nice to run on.
Okay, yeah, like I think that those are perfect spots. You know, if we did get a team together for that.
Yeah, I know when we ran the 5K right after, I think it was Thanksgiving Day or the day before or something. We did it all together. Like we started together, but some people kind of just went at their own pace. But we all just kind of like used an app on our phone that it's like free to use. And then as long as you bring it along, then it tracks it for you and tells like, as long as you're looking, you just turn around the halfway point. So you can really do it anywhere that way. But it's kind of nice if you have like a set path or something that you know is around the right length. In a circle, because I won't even tell you about the 5K that I ran. That was more of a 10K, and I got lost, and that happened.
Go out back is horrible.
Ooh, I ran a 10K where I almost got hypothermia one time. That was pretty bad. It was like the Des Moines one, like during Thanksgiving weekend. It was like 30 degrees and you go through like water and mud and it was cold.
Oh.
Don't recommend it. I got forced into it by a friend and I was like, but I did it. I can live to say I did it. Oh, I had a question. So I had an idea. Sorry, I talk a lot and today's actually a challenging day, but I like people. So I was like, you know what? I'll hop on the coaching call. This is kind of my thing, which Caitlin always tells me. But now that I have time, I digress. Staying focused. Okay. So basically my idea was like, what helps me is having accountability and community. So I was thinking like, have you guys ever done anything where you've like put people in like pairs for like fitness accountability partners, like fitness encouragement partners? I don't know, maybe it's like a new thing to try, but I was like, I loved our little group that we had and kind of like something like that, but like pairing like a person like one-on-one. I just think that like, there's like power in community and it can be really motivating for people that want to do it. Like it could just be like an opt-in thing, but I think that could be like that was an idea I had.
Yeah, that was like the teamwork boot camp that we did. That's effectively what we did. So I do that sometimes. And I guess I was just hoping that with the pin post, I think it's a lot of fun. Of course, I think we kind of set the precedent. So if we go through and like see each other's comments and like encourage people, I think that is helpful for people to like feel noticed and supported. But yeah, I feel like with the teamwork boot camp, it was like, it worked because everyone could kind of commit to what they wanted to do for their fitness. Where like this is like, we're all supposed to be doing the same thing. And I wouldn't want people to feel like they didn't have flexibility if they had like a partner. I don't know. And I don't want to overcomplicate it either, because I know summer people are busy. And so
yeah, I wasn't saying for this one, just as like an idea for like future, like, things. So that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that boot camp went over crazy good. I did not expect that many people to opt into a team. And as expected, like as the weeks pittered on and some teams clearly were not going to win, they kind of fizzled out, but I still think it helped them for the first couple weeks. And it seemed like it's fun now because I can see sometimes that like I'll see some of their like regular Facebook posts, and then I'll see like some other people that I know they otherwise weren't connected with except for their team, and they're like commenting on each other's and like loving on each other. So it's fun to see like they're still connecting outside of the group. And I think that really helps them, as you said, like plug back in, because that spurs their memory of like, oh yeah, they're in my accountability group. I should check into that again, right? So no, I definitely am going to keep doing boot camps like that in the future, because it just helps create accountability and small group, like people noticing each other and connecting, which helps everybody. And there it is. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's so cute. Yeah, you showed me a picture of that. Okay, so then the only thing left is Melissa said that she was willing to help me. She just said help me, but I'm hoping that she'll help me in the same way that she did last year, where like I would tell her, I would pencil out like all the workouts in my scrawly handwriting, and then she'd put it in a cute, the papers from last time. I think she even did journals. I don't know if she'll do that this year because I don't think people used it that much, but it surprisingly does take a lot of time to like figure out the minutes and the equipment and like get everything to like line up and look nice. So she did that for me last time. So I'm hoping she is willing to do that again. I'm curious if anyone else wants to go live in the group. I'm totally fine doing those. Otherwise, if anyone wanted to help with the daily, just simple pin posts, I was thinking if you wanted to, you could help with that. Thoughts?
I'm not a live person, but I will gladly do posts during the week.
Okay. Perfect. Anything is helpful for me.
I bet I could do a post, and I mean, someday I'll do a live. I like talking to people. They don't scare me. Well, okay, people in big groups scare me. Like I saw a big group of people that I was playing ultimate frisbee with, and like once we were done playing frisbee, I was like, I'm going to my car. I was like making my way. First, like I thought you were extroverts, like, and social anxiety. I was like, I can't talk to like 50 people at once if I can see them. But if it's just like a couple people, I'm like good.
All right. So that sounds good. I'll just then assign like kind of how we do with test groups, like assign days of the week, and then we'll just kind of share it. And yeah, hopefully I'll take the first couple days just so that you can kind of see like how I lay out what the workouts are, the equipment, couple modifications, whether you're
So these are the posts that you put in the bod group, right? Like in the bod group app, or that you put on the Facebook page.
what are you talking about?
Or like the daily posts, you put those in the app, right?
Oh, good question. So this is all of this is going to happen in a new Facebook group. I think I talked about that
great.
before you came in. Yeah, so very rarely do I do this, but I think for this kind of like hybrid, one time, hype it up, everyone do it together kind of a group, we're going to have a brand new Facebook group. Everything's going to happen in there, the live videos, the daily posts, everything. So, and like the workout, because then it'll be easy for them to find the workout calendar.
Oh, awesome.
They can just go in the file section and they'll be there. So it's nice when you have a new group because then everything is a little simpler because there's less
information to sift through.
Exactly. Less people too. We won't have like 200 plus people that are just sitting around. We'll have the people who committed and want to be added, which is
do you ever like estimate how many people you expect for your groups, or like?
Yeah, we talked about that before you hopped on too. So far I have for sure 14 people that filled out the form, but that was with 0 reminders, and like I've only really had a couple lead generators on it. So I'm guessing between 30 and 50 total is my guess. That would be ideal too. That was kind of my goal, between 30 and 50. So I think that's perfect for a Facebook group because it's not too many that you get like 100 some comments on a day, because then no one can go through that. But it's enough that it's not like 10 people who jumped in, and like you need some, right?
Like you gotta generate some momentum.
Yes. And I think anytime you have enough coaches in there, it's helpful too, because we all know that to encourage people and not just be a fly on the wall. Just good. All right. Anything else you guys had? So
you said ordering the tank tops. When do we need to get those ordered by?
Okay, so I think she said they have to 2 weeks at the bare minimum is like from you ordering to them being done. Yeah, I think she said 2 weeks is expected. So like I plan on like ordering mine like ASAP because I want that 5K lead generator. Oh gosh, I'm already on like 2 weeks then. 1, 2.
When are you going to do your 5K lead generator?
I was thinking on the 7th, but I don't know if I'm going to make that. So then it might have to be on the 10th because that would be 2 weeks out if I order it tonight.
Right.
Yeah. But I do think we did that before with the turkey trot. Like we promoted just the 5K alone, like when we were already training for it, and people still like got excited, like, sure, I'll jump in on the training. And especially with this like weekly schedule, people won't feel like they're already behind because there's a new schedule every week and we all are doing the same workout. So I don't think there's anything wrong with promoting the 5K after we've already started training a little bit. But yeah, if you want to do that, like if you want to have the tank top and take a picture of it and use it for a lead generator, then we need to order it like soon. I haven't asked Sarah how many people have ordered a tank top yet. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that too. I'm kind of
Is the link on your Insta to order that? I recall seeing.
No, it should be in the email. The email that I sent out.
The email. Okay. See, I remember seeing it. I just don't remember which platform I saw it on.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Bod group and Instagram and Facebook, emails. That's my magic, and Messenger. You're gonna see me a million times everywhere, so you always remember.
That's the trick, though. I mean, I forget things easily, so more than
All right. Anything else? Nope. Wow, I'm impressed that it's going to cut us off in 4 minutes, but it didn't cut us off. That's impressive. I'm going to stop the recording.